My name's Clay with the Clayway here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And if anyone else can do it, I promise you can do it too. I got something super sick to show you where we're re-engineering complete incompetence today and repairing everything except for the Asian part. This is Honda powered Tupperware, baby. And we're going to show you how to change that motor mount. Super easy, the Clayway. So that's called the engine mount check procedure. What you do is you put your foot on the brake, you put it in gear, and you give it a little bit of gas. Don't run the other person over that's standing in front of it checking it, because you'll need two people. And don't let your old lady do it if she doesn't like you. Then you put it in reverse, put it in forward, you keep going back and forth, and that's how you get that little crick and that bump. On these vehicles, there are 4 mounts. One up here in the front, one down on the end of the transmission, and one down here at the back of the engine towards the firewall. If you see it move from any of them spaces, you know that you need to replace that mount. But I'm here to tell you that it's generally only this mount that goes bad. Unless this mount was bad for a long time, then that mount went bad, and then your axle starts to drag on the cradle. All terrible stuff. This is sincerely the crappiest design of any motor mount I've ever seen. You've got a 250 plus horse engine, and you've got a motor mount that sits like this, and there's nothing to hold the pressure back when you go in forward and reverse. So what I've done is I've designed a new motor mount that works with the torque of the engine and has a hydro mount at the bottom of it that allows the motor mount to withstand the pressures of the torque in the engine in forward and reverse. And I'm going to show you how to reinstall the old motor mount just in case you run into some troubles. Plus, I'm going to show you how my Clayway motor mount works and a little bit of how I designed this and engineered it. I knew these motor mounts were crap for a number of years. I've changed dozens of them. This summer, we're going to be supercharging one of these J35s. Well, I knew that there was no way that motor mount was ever going to hold up. Sometimes you get lucky and these motor mounts hold up, the original factory ones, but they were just incompetently engineered and not thought out at all. But because this engine is not designed for the Saturn Vue, well, I would imagine an engineer said, well, we'll just use the motor mount from the transmission. And they did not think any further about torque and how the motor would move up and down. So that's why these go to crap all the time. Now, you can buy my motor mount, but like anything that I make and I hand produce, which these are hand produced, part of them anyways, I dig out a bunch of parts and then I make a bracket and blah, blah, blah. They're not super cheap. Nothing I make is super cheap, okay? I got bills to pay, and these videos pay about 0.2 of a cent. So, like most people, if you're planning on keeping this vehicle till it completely dies at about 400,000 miles, it's probably worth the money to put it in here, because you'll change one of these every 6 frickin' months. I'm telling you. I know there's people out there that said, oh, I ain't changed one for 17 years. Well, I'm almost sure it's probably bad, dude. You need to take it out and check it, or do the check procedure. Now, mine is going to take the torque and move it in between these 2 posts right here so that engine can't move as much. That's why mine's so much more superior than the original one. How mine differs is the torque goes right inside here, and then this bar stops that torque at a certain point. And it's a hydro mount. The original ones, there ain't nothing holding that. That's why that is squadoosh garbage. See, absolutely nothing there except for some squadoosh garbage rubber that's definitely going to break if you drive your car. Forget about even getting into the pedal, so this won't do. If you want to purchase one of these, you can look me up on Facebook Messenger at Clay's AC and Auto Repair. Send me a DM. I don't know the price point right now, but it's going to be pretty close to 300 bucks. I'm not sure, but because it takes a terribly long time to reconfigure these mounts to work with my brackets, and I have to make the brackets as well. So if that's out of the budget, get you one of these $100, $150 jobbies. No big deal, but you're awfully cool having one of these on there. It even comes with the bracket that moves the ECM so it doesn't interfere with the motor mount. All of this stuff takes time, and this is how I keep my show going. But let's take this motor mount out so you can do whatever you want to do. First thing we're gonna do is take a jack and a block of wood. Yes, the wheel fell off my pussy wagon. Push that up underneath the oil pan, jack it up lightly. We just need to take pressure off of the motor mount, be able to hold the engine while we change the motor mount. Once you see the automobile start to raise, you've got it. We don't have to remove the wheel if we're just changing the motor mount or the alternator. We do have to take it off if we're doing the timing. Unplug the air temperature sensor. There's a clip you push down. If it won't unplug, push it towards the box, push the clip, and pull it back quickly. Use a flathead, loosen the clamp, use a 10 millimeter, remove the bolt. Push the hold down tabs. Lift up the lid. Take note of this tab right here for your air filter. Remove this 8 millimeter or 10 millimeter bolt here. Keep in mind that there's little rubber pushies that go up inside there. Be careful not to break your clips. Now I find it easier to remove the ECM or at least get it out of the way. And at the top here, there's a clip that allows you to make the ECM go down like this, and then you'll be able to pull it up. Just like that. Just like that. And then it sits in this bucket right here. If you do want to remove your ECM, these are called cam locks. And right here, there is a tab that you push down that allows you to move that forward. And then there's our tab. And as you move that forward, it's going to push away from the ECM. And as you do that, kind of just wiggle it. Be really ginger when you put that back on. And when you go to reassemble it, it should go on about quarter of the way. And as you pull this over, it should suck down. Try not to break these because it's not a good thing if you break them. Both connectors on here function and operate the same way for removal and installation. For the video, this is probably going to get in my way significantly, so I just loosen this clamp and pull it off of here. Now you're going to use an 18 millimeter to take these two nuts off right here, and a 15 millimeter to take these two bolts out right here. You can even take a 10 millimeter and loosen this up. With the long extension, you can get down to that 18 millimeter nut without removing this. And if you're using one of the Clayway Ultimate brackets, you're going to want to remove this whole bracket. This is secured down by 3 10 millimeter bolts. One here, one here, one here. You can get them with the 1/4 inch socket, deep well 10 millimeter, and take them off even in the blind, meaning you won't be able to see this one right here. Motor moves down just a hair, but it's okay. The serious engineering flaw with this motor mount is it allows the engine to pivot, and there's no backing right here. They put these stupid little earmuffs on here. I'm guessing they're supposed to save this motor mount, but it can move too much. So once again, we're working on everything American about this vehicle except for the Asian part. Boy, I really thought this was going to work. No quirtril. Looks like it's back to the drawing board. Now, most of these mounts just come with the hockey puck portion, so you just simply remove this bolt right here and bolt your new one to that. The engine almost always is going to move a little bit, so just take a screwdriver, pull it down in there, take one of your 15 millimeter bolts, start that bolt, and then put the other bolt inside there, and then put your nuts on. Make sure you're able to thread them bolts in by hand so you don't cross thread anything. Then just tighten them down. You can get all crazy with torque specs, but yeah, I don't know that that's really an issue that I'm going to confront myself with today. All right, so the only thing about installation is this airbox has these little pushies that go up inside them little holes down there, and you need to make sure they're inserted properly. These two holes right here is where it inserts. Line it up, put your hand right in your hole,
bang it in.
That's what she said.
Don't forget to screw down your bolt and plug in your air temperature sensor. Make sure that these tabs are locked into the proper location, because if they're not, you won't be able to get these out. Put your finger right there, push like that. Make sure that you use your thumb to press down on there, and it should snap in there.
You want to see a little bit of what my thinking was? Well, that's all done. Now I'm going to show you a little bit about my thinking when I was engineering and developing this ultimate motor mount that should never really technically break. First thing I needed to do was level out the engine. Make sure that the engine was somewhat close. It isn't really going to matter because things are going to sag and they're going to droop. So don't get the bracket home, put it on, and then go, oh, it's not level, oh my God! Because your car goes around curves and stuff, and they're designed to pick up oil no matter what. And if the engine was like this, I suppose that would be a real problem, but it's not going to be. What I really wanted to do on these brackets was make this to where it affixed in the original locations, but that wasn't possible. I knew I needed this style motor mount to be able to take the torque, but I could not make it to where this met up with here without making a special attachment for the brackets and then grinding out the brackets and doing a whole bunch of stuff. But we needed to be able to take up to like 500 horse with one of these brackets. And even if you're not running a supercharger or something like that, this bracket is exceptional because you're probably never going to replace this thing again. The next thing that I needed to do was figure out how to relocate the stinking ECM up there. And that required another bracket, which I haven't got completely done yet, but I know exactly how I'm going to design it and engineer it. Then, once I got the bracket inside there, I needed to get underneath the vehicle, make sure there wasn't too much pressure on the other brackets, and I was going to destroy something else, not destroying this. It was kind of a nightmare. It's been about 2 weeks on it, maybe 3 weeks now, I guess. And it seems like it's simple, but there was a lot of thought put behind doing this. So when you're doing stuff, it doesn't work out the way you think in your head that it's going to work. But ultimately, we get something that's really super cool and something that is definitely different than anyone else. And this is why I always say in my videos, don't be the next to them, be the first to you. Think about things and think about the way you can do things and how they were engineered and why they were engineered the way they were. Like in this situation, it was only engineered that way because it was easy for engineering. They made a bracket that went here. They just used the rear transmission bracket or a design very similar to it. You don't have to like go super crazy, but you do need to think about what's going to happen when you do something like this and why it was made the way it was made the first place. And that's how we come up with designs like that. This will be my 7th patent. And that's pretty awesome. So I'm super stoked about that. And I hope you guys are too. I hope you dig it. So like I said earlier, you can look me up on Clay's AC and Auto Repair over Facebook or send me an email to the new Clayway at gmail.com and I'll make one of these for you. I'm sure they're going to be handmade, so it'll take 2 or 3 days to make them if you're even interested in that. If not, just keep putting that other junk in there. Doesn't bother me. However, if you want to consider helping out the show by buying one of these brackets, we love it. It's great that we can help you, and it can help me too. We can continue to inspire and empower folks just like you to do things yourselves, because not all of these videos are me trying to capitalize off of my YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, I only have 9 things that I can capitalize off of my channel out of well over 1,100 videos. So you do the math. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but man, I love what I do, and I love people like you, so thank you so much for watching. Remember, if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. Don't be the next to them, be the absolute first of you. God bless, folks. Consider subscribing, clicking the notifications, sharing my videos, and making a comment down below, even if it's a poop emoji. Have the greatest of days, folks.